Busch Series. It's a mostly sunny, hot and humid summer Saturday in the Irish Hills. The championship race is red hot. And today, the Busch regulars face a track full of talent from the Winston Cup Series.
Cars rolling off the pit lane and out onto the track. Let's take a look at how they'll start today. Couple of youngsters on the front row. Casey Kane, his first NASCAR Busch Series pole, 23-year-old, speeding to the top spot in qualifying with David Ruderman in just his 7th Busch Series start on the outside of row 1.
And then starts the ambushers, the guys from Winston Cup. Casey Mears, Tony Stewart, Kevin Harvick, and Matt Kenseth back in row 3.
And the Winston Cup guys continue in row 4. Greg Biffle, defending race winner Michael Waltrip there. Then the guys who dueled for the win at Indianapolis 2 weeks ago on TNT, Brian Vickers and Shane Meal in row 5.
One of the best races we've seen this year in the NASCAR Busch Series at IRP 2 weeks ago.
Boy, it was great, too. Championship contenders.
Scott Riggs back in row 7 on the inside. David Green back in row 8. Right behind him, only 7 points behind.
And Jason Keller, the third place man in the championship, there in row 9. How about Joe Nemechek and Jeff Burton? A couple Winston Cup guys way deep in the field.
And Justin Labonte is back.
Dave Blaney back in row 12 with Terry's son, Justin. Stacy Compton, Scott Wimmer, Johnny Sauter, all Busch Series contenders, but all struggling a little bit in qualifying.
And Damon Lusk in the car that Wally drove last year. Jimmy McMurray on the inside of row 16.
Farthest back of the Winston Cup drivers. John Hayden got the last spot on time. Now back to provisional land. Coy Gibbs. Justin Ashburn, a late driver substitution in that 22 car. Driver from the Nashville area of Tennessee, going to be in the race today. And Jimmy Kitchens, Hueytown, Alabama, will bring up the last spot in the field. 2 laps to go here before we get the green flag. 4 drivers failed to qualify. You see Ashburn originally not supposed to be in the race. And now the people moving to the back with the exception of Ashburn. Chad Blunt with an engine change. Vern Slaw missed the drivers' meeting, and also Tammy Jo Kirk with an engine change.
Green flag.
Green flag right away. Way up high. There's a penalty coming there for Jamie McMurray. Can't pass before the start-finish line on the initial start of the race. He got about, what, 10 cars there?
Yep, he's got 10 cars. He's going to be making a visit to pit lane.
Yes, he is. 4 wide for second place, and third, Kevin Harvick quickly on the move. Casey Kane leads. David Ruderman in the 88. Kevin Harvick in the 21 for second. And here comes Tony Stewart in the 8.
And Matt Kenseth, the blue car on the bottom of the racetrack, time to follow Tony Stewart. And, as planned, the 1 car gets the black flag.
Check this out on the initial. Well, first, here's the lead. Kevin Harvick under Casey Kane for the top spot in turn 2.
Not quite.
And Tony Stewart, here he comes on the inside of Harvick. I talked to Butch Hilton this morning in the 21 car. He said, I think that we're really good on long runs, but we might not have enough speed for the 8 car at the very start of a run.
Well, I hate to see him on a long run then.
Here for the lead, Tony Stewart. He's got it.
That took 2 laps. But Casey may not be done yet on the outside. Yeah, he's got him there. So Tony Stewart leads. Kevin Harvick and Casey Kane racing for second and third. Matt Kenseth is fourth. And David Ruderman hanging in 5th position. Jamie McMurray on pit road for his stop-and-go penalty for jumping the start. Dave?
And they were discussing just the confusion in the rule on a restart, Alan. I believe the rule is that you can pass to the outside, but on the initial start of the race, you can't do that.
You are correct. On the initial start of the race, you have to cross the start-finish line in line before you can make any moves.
But boy, when it's open, I did that one time, BP. Here, watch the 1 car up, top of the screen. He sees all this room, flag drops. He's going to get a bunch of them. I did this at Vegas one time, and I forgot about that. You only do that on a restart.
2, 4, 6. Got 6 of them before the start-finish line and a few more after.
I think he understands the rule now probably a lot better than he did.
I never did that again. I got black flag.
By the way, the follow-up on Greg Biffle apparently they changed engines on that car after happy hour last night. His car was not among those NASCAR reported at the start of the race as having to drop to the back of the field. So apparently just a little miscommunication there.
There we see Brian Vickers in the 5 car. About to lose a spot to Chad Blunt in the 19.
That's Casey Mears in the 19.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, this car Chad drove at the beginning of the season.
Scott Riggs in the 10 car.
Let's see, that's all for 7th, 8th, and 9th there. Championship leader Riggs in the 10, moving up. Boy, his name's been in the rumor mill a lot lately, hasn't it? And the Winston Cup side of the fence. Oh, trouble. Greg Biffle. Caution's out.
We sure did mess up their signs in the grass, didn't he? At least he didn't get stuck, or hasn't yet.
Here from 2nd to 3rd.
He messed up his
Looks like the left front air dam a little bit may have to be pulled out.
This has not been a good track for Biffle once he left the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. He was 2 for 2, ran 2 races, won 2 races here in the trucks. After that, he's finished poorly every time he's been here.
See if we can see what happens here. He just broke loose, all by himself. Tires all look up.
Yeah, you're right. The sign painters are going to be working overtime tonight out there in the grass.
On board with Joey Clanton. He just backs off a little bit. Thank you for getting out of the way. This was a backup car that he just spun coming off turn 4 because of this in practice. And watch this. Lots of damage to the rear of this car. I saw that car after, and they cut the entire back end off the car.
There's the virtual restart line. Ignore that dotted line that's painted on the racetrack.
Green flag.
For Winston Cup and Busch Series racing here, that line has no application.
Now, what Jamie McMurray did at the start is legal now. If he's in the very back, he could move out and pass on the outside if he found some room.
But normally on the restart, they don't give you any room. Everybody's
know
right
that.
up against the wall.
That's right. They know that, so you can't find any room.
Tony Stewart leads, Casey Kane is 2nd, Kevin Harvick 3rd, Matt Kenseth 4th, and Michael Waltrip 5th. Then you've got David Rudiman, Casey Mears, Scott Riggs, Brian Vickers, and David Green rounding out the top. Car on the inside there is Ashton Lewis. Remember, he was on pit road on the pace laps. He lost 3 laps getting those carburetor repairs made before rejoining the race. Harvick's trying for 2nd.
He's having trouble trying to get by Casey King. Here comes Matt Kenseth in the 17, trying to get by Harvick.
Matt started in 6th position. That's what you got to love about this racetrack. There's about 5 or 6 different lanes you can run, and they're all fast.
Yeah, it really is. It's a fun racetrack, and the draft really comes into play here too. If you got a guy coming side by side off the corner, and you get somebody to come up on your bumper, it's going to help push you past the guy you're racing with.
Now on that caution flag, none of the leaders pitted, but a lot of the guys at the back end of the field came in and topped off the fuel. Joe Nemechek, Justin Labonte, Chad Blunt came in, Stacy Compton, Jamie McMurray topped off the fuel, Coy Gibbs. Hey, the most notable of the drivers who topped off the fuel was Ron Hornaday, 4th place guy in the championship. Gave up 16th place, he came out 30th.
Ooh! Boy, Scott Riggs was thinking about trying to get up there, but he was not clear.
Dave, what possessed Hornaday to make a pit stop?
VP, they talked about it before the race. Car owner Richard Childress talked with Ricky Byers, the crew chief, and they said, if you guys aren't good on the first yellow flag, come on in and change that. They were very, very tight. They took some wedge out. They raised the track bar. They were very tight in the center of the corner and getting off the corner, so they made those changes.
Well, I guess, and he had fallen back. He'd gone from his starting position, had gone backwards, so might as well stop, try to get it fixed.
Casey Mears in 7th in that white car, the 19. Heading up this pretty good little fight for a spot. David Green joining in the green car, 37. Makes sense. Driver named Green would have a green car.
Battle for the third position. It's like Michael Waltrip, last year's winners, trying to take it, and does.
See both Michael and Matt Kenseth who've got by Kevin Harvick. And there's the gap back to the next race. David Rudiman in the red and yellow car there. He's running in sixth position, working his way around Ashton Lewis's lap car.
And it really is amazing how many grooves there is through the corner here.
You can see it right there.
Yeah.
Tell you what, you see the splashes of sunlight the drivers are racing through now. The cloud covers come over this racetrack in a big way. It was bathed in sunlight when the race started. Now it's bathed in clouds. Track temperature's cooling off.
And the handling will change if those clouds stay out.
Scott Riggs by Casey Mears for 7th place. The yellow car moving forward. I talked with Scott in the garage area yesterday about all the rumors and where things are at as far as what he's going to be doing in the future. He said, you know, at my age, I'm 32 years old. With the way everybody's focused on kids, young guys coming into Winston Cup, I'm probably only going to get one good shot at succeeding in Winston Cup. So I've got to make sure whatever I might choose to do, if I move from this very good race team I'm with now, it's got to be a good opportunity that I can succeed with.
That's real smart, because you know, you're not going to carry a race team that's not competitive. And especially when you go to Winston Cup, there's a lot of new things that you have to learn, and it's tough over there. So, yep, you're going to get one shot at it. He wants to be with the best race team he can be with.
Looks like the 5 car, Brian Vickers, was able to get by these fellas. Vickers is currently in the 7th position.
There's Brian, most recent winner in the NASCAR Busch Series. Tell you, Hamilton Jr., he's not been a rocket ship to the front, but he started 16th and he's picked his way up to 8th, so he's halfway there.
But the ground is going to get a lot harder to plow for these next few positions, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Brian's running that lower line. Most of these guys running up top already. A few cars like Brian Vickers staying down on the bottom. Looks like Matt Kenseth is trying to work the bottom as well.
And here come the clouds again. Hey, Kurt, cloud, sun, that's got to be giving these drivers and their crew chiefs fits, huh?
It is, mainly though, your car, if it has a handling characteristic like Rudiman, it's going to probably benefit him a little bit to get fight coming up off the corner. But most cars are always tight here. You've got to make sure that you don't abuse that right front tire. And with cloud cover, that'll drop the track temp a little bit, and that'll aid that problem, but you're still going to end up being tight.
How are you going to pass all those guys tomorrow come up from 21st?
Well, the thing you see with a Busch car versus a Cup car is many guys prefer the high line with a Busch car. Keep that momentum built up top. You don't have as much horsepower. With the Cup cars, you have that horsepower. I like to go to the bottom here and run and pass some cars, and then once you get strung out, then you utilize the top not to burn up your tires.
Now, Tony Stewart's out there not only running and racing, but maybe learning a few things for tomorrow, you think?
He's out there making sure that he's got that A car going pretty good and giving it a good run. And you know, he's putting down the laps that he needs to right now. And if he's got a challenger that comes up, he'll probably just step it up. There's things that'll translate back and forth. I'm pretty sure. I've never run a Busch car to know, but you know, he's getting track time out there today. The biggest difference between June and August when we come to Michigan is August is much slicker out there.
Hey, Kurt, do you have any aspirations to run some of these Busch races?
There's that possibility. You know, my little brother, he's really jumped into the series and done real well right off the bat. It would be fun to race against him, but, you know, the overall scheme of things, went from truck to Cup. I feel pretty proud of that move that I made going from that series to this one. And just not having that opportunity to run there, it's just putting sponsors together. I know Jack Roush's got many a cars, but it just really hasn't really intrigued me all that much to go and run the deal. It just seems like we've got enough on my plate with the Winston Cup program and as Rubbermaid is our sponsor.
Hey, Kurt, did you ever think about maybe owning a team and hiring me as your driver?
That wouldn't be too bad, Wally. You keep asking me about the Daytona 24-hour race, maybe we can work a deal.
Okay.
You don't want to go out there and beat up on your little brother on the racetrack?
It would be fun, wouldn't it? I never really thought of it that way, beating up on him. Just showing him maybe a lane or two that he could drive and follow me around a little bit.
But would you give him a lap back? That's what I want to know.
Oh, that would be tough. It would be tough. I'd most likely be in a Ford, and he's going to have to wear that bow tie.
Watching David Green here make a move on David Ruderman for 9th and 10th places. So the top guys in the championship mostly faring pretty well here in these opening laps.
Don't look now, and I'm not sure exactly what it means, but you know what? Second, third place cars are running faster than the leader.
Funny you should mention that.
They're gaining on Tony Stewart, getting closer and closer, talking about Michael Waltrip and also the 38 car, Casey Kane. Matt, is Tony saying anything in the 8 car?
BP about 6 laps ago, Kevin Bono Manuel was reading off the lap times to Tony, and he was about 3/10 off Michael Waltrip's time. The next time by, that was cut in half. He's about a 10th to a 10th and a half slower than Michael Waltrip's time, but that's basically because Tony has picked up a push in the center off the corner. They're going to work on that on their first pit stop, which should be in about 8 to 9 laps.
And check this out, Hornaday, one of the points contenders, about to go a lap down to Tony Stewart.
Yeah. Ron Hornaday, 4th position, just 58 points off the leader Scott Riggs in the NASCAR Busch Series Championship. It's going to be a lap down, not even halfway into this thing. And he's already made 1 pit stop.
And changed tires and made adjustments. Bill?
Yeah, Benny, I was just going to ask Kurt, you got to keep up with the leader here, don't you? You're going to lose track position in a hurry.
It'll add up quickly, and that's what happened to Hornaday. He had a nil handling car, tried to come in and make adjustments to it. But since you started so far back on the restart, you've got all that dirty air in front of you. There's no way to make up time unless you got your car right after that pit stop. So he restarting. He's all the way in the middle of green 4 when Tony Stewart's at the start-finish line. He's already a quarter lap behind. So it adds up quick in Michigan. When your car's on like Tony Stewart has, he just keeps going and digging. If your car's off, it adds up that much quicker.
Hey, thanks for coming by. Good luck tomorrow.
You got it, guys.
That's Kurt Busch. He's looking for the Winston Cup Michigan sweep this season.
So Matt Kenseth goes to the point as we check our pitch summary.
And Matt Kenseth is the 3rd car in line. You see the blue car. Jeff Burton and Jason Keller had stopped on the green. They're on the tail end of the lead lap. They've stayed out, hoping they stay in front of the leader and get a quick caution flag to make up that 2-mile distance.
Stay ready, green, green, green.
Mike Kalanoff, Matt Kenseth spotter. Scott Wimmer there also trying to get in front of the leader and get himself back on the tail end of the lead lap, which he's done so far.
Here comes Kenseth. He's on the inside. He's gone by Keller. Put him a lap down, trying to put Wimmer a lap down. Tony Stewart going the inside of Harvick. Dave, what's Wimmer doing a lap down? Unscheduled pit stop?
They were on pit road when that caution came out, Benny. They were in the middle of their pit stop. They put on just 2 tires, aborted the rest of the pit stop, and then came back under caution because they lost that lap.
Look at Stewart there. Smoking by Kevin Harvick.
Trying to get by him anyway.
Yeah, didn't finish the job.
Didn't make it.
Whoa, is that Riggs way up the bank?
Yep.
He lost a couple spots there in that 10.06 car, Justin Labonte. 1 lap down, 29th place. What's up with the 10, Dave?
Alan, he just radioed into his guys. Guys, I got aero loose. That's all that happened. They said, hang on to it, work your way back up.
Hey, Michael Waltrip in 99 trying to work his way to the front. Currently in 5th position, trying to take over 4th.
Whoa, Mikey, hang on. Speaking of loose, Mike cost him a spot. David Green going to try and go by Michael.
And Dozen Riggs is going to try the same thing. And Scott in the 10 car.
Tell you what, you lose that momentum. It takes a bit to get it back. And with a hungry pack of wolves chasing around you, you don't often get that minute. Talk about Scott Riggs. up in turns 1 and 2 there a couple laps ago when he went chasing up the hill and got arrow loose, as he reported to the crew.
There you see him right there in the middle, and see the car get loose. I really think Vickers was close enough to help him get loose. I think the 10 car just got loose by himself there.
That was really weird looking thing. Like he lost the front, just picked up and set over, and he had to turn it so quickly that he got loose. Weird looking.
So Riggs running back in 7th now, just behind Michael Waltrip in 6th. And Scott Wimmer, the lap car in the middle, is 1 lap down in 26th place in the 23.
This is Scott Wimmer as he tries to follow Michael Waltrip. Wimmer is currently in 29th position.
You try to follow Michael Waltrip around Michigan, you're going to have to run out near that wall.
And we heard Scott have to get off the throttle when he got a little bit too close to the wall.
How about 4th place? David Green, 37. Brian Vickers, 5.
Just squeezed by Jamie Mosley in the 39 car.
2 of the contenders for the NASCAR Busch Series Championship. David Green in 2nd place, just 7 points behind Scott Riggs. Brian Vickers in 5th, but only 99 points out of the lead. And again, this is for 4th and 5th positions. Tell you what, after what we've seen from Brian Vickers in the last year and a half, not hard to imagine that his trip to Victory Lane at Indianapolis a couple of weeks ago is going to be the last.
Oh, no, he's going to win some races. And only 19 years old. Folks, a kid in the 5 car, 19 years old. So definitely a star of the future in the stock car racing world.
That didn't come out right, but you knew what I was trying to say. We're going to see him win a bunch.
Yeah, yeah.
Casey Mears in the target car, the 19. Here's Kevin Harvick in the 21 in the 2nd position. Trying to...
Whoa!
Baby!
That's loose.
Tony Stewart squeezes by Jeff Burton as we ride along with Burton, a lap down. Back in the 26th position. He goes to the top, Harvick in the middle, and Stewart on the bottom.
Wow, he is really loose. Kevin Harvick is really loose in that 21 car right now.
Yeah, Butch Hilton, the crew chief on the 21. Memo to Butch. Fix 21 car. Tighten it up next pit stop.
Yeah, but you know, like Wally said at the top of the show, you made your big pit stop already. The next one might just be a 2-tire job. It's going to be tough to fix it then.
He could be in trouble.
Yeah, you can't spend a lot of time on this next pit stop because everybody else is going to spend very little time. Hey, Marty, what's going on with 21?
You're exactly right. That's what Butch Hilton said this morning. He said on that first stop, I've got to go big or I'm not going to win the race. So they made a lot of adjustments on Kevin Harvick's car. His car was way too tight the last time, so they pulled a rubber out of the left rear. They added a rubber to the left front of that car, and they did a lot of things, air pressure, track bar as well, trying to do everything they can to win this race. Doesn't help sit there with a tight race car knowing you can't win the race if you don't adjust on it.
Hey, Marty, they got it loose.
Yeah, I would say they hit it on the loose part, BP.
Yes, they did.
But I guarantee you this, too. It'll get tighter the longer they run.
That's true.
If he can hang on to it that long. You're right. It may be very, very fast towards the end.
Tony Stewart trying to get some separation from Kevin Harvick. He's going to get by him and pick up 2nd spot.
And running behind Tony will tighten his car up a little bit, so it's better to have Tony in front of him instead on his rear bumper, which is going to make the car even more loose.
You see the gap from Matt Kenseth, the blue car, to Tony Stewart, now in 2nd. 9/10 of a second.
Wally, it looks like Tony's groove is right in the middle of the racetrack. He's not high, he's not low, he's right in the middle.
Yeah, he's moved it up. He started out way down at the beginning of the race, but you're right, BP, he's right in the center now. But that's one of these racetracks where you'll search. If you'll run a while a little bit on the bottom and you go, man, this isn't looking good and that guy just passed me, so I'm going to try up here. That's what's so cool about this racetrack. It's got so many different places to find where your car wants to run fast.
Remember Jeff Burton in the 9, Jason Keller in the 57, got trapped by the caution flag a lap down, did not succeed in getting back on the lead lap. There are 25 cars on the lead lap at the moment.
And right behind this group of cars is Michael Waltrip in the 99 car, who just before the caution flag was the fastest car. Uh-oh. Here comes Tony.
New leader.
There goes Tony.
All right, so we went back to green at lap 50. And it took Tony Stewart 12 laps to get back to the front.
Not good for the rest of it.
No.
Going to be hard to handle. I know Hard to Handle is not one of Three Doors Down's songs, but he's going to be hard to handle.
But what we saw the last time, he was terrific for about 30 laps, and then he started coming back to the field. Might happen again.
Right, and the guy that was really, really quick there at the end was Michael. Michael had his car set up, it looked like, for the longer runs.
Tony Stewart leads, did not pit. Second is Matt Kenseth. Brian Vickers third. Greg Biffle, remember the early spin, back up to fourth. And it is Johnny Slaughter fifth.
Green.
Sixth is Tim Fedewa. Bobby Hamilton Jr. seventh. None of those cars pitted under the caution. Then Kevin Harvick in eighth place, the first one of those who stopped. Michael Waltrip gave up seventh spot after winning the race off pit road. He's out 17th now.
But all he's got to do is ride. Stay out of trouble and ride. All these guys have to come back in.
They've got to stop. They've got to have some fuel to be able to run the entire 250 miles.
Jason Keller, 57. Jeff Burton, 9. Not on the lead lap. Made a green flag pit stop. They're caught by a caution flag a little bit earlier in the race.
They just pitted. Jeff Burton, the 9 car, just pitted this last stop and changed tires, so looks like he might be good to go. At least he probably will try.
Momentum, buddy, and go.
Keith Barnwell talking to
Jason Keller. I'll tell you what, nice comeback for Biffle here. Did not pit under this caution, got himself some track position back. Is that going to turn out to be a benefit or a hindrance at the end when he has to make his last pit stop?
Now then, the only way Tony Stewart can win the race, Matt Kenseth, Greg Biffle, Brian Vickers, there has to be another caution flag.
The crew chiefs were looking at on pit road a minute ago.
You think that's rain in there?
I don't know.
Send Marty over there, see if it's raining.
About 10 miles, Marty, over past turn 4.
Hey, BP, I ran there and ran back. It's about 20 miles away, so I ran a marathon just now.
We ought to be okay then.
That's the report from some of the teams down here. The rain about 20 miles away, but they're thinking it may stay to the north of us. So, you know, you got to be a meteorologist and you got to figure out fuel mileage down here.
It's unbelievable.
I'll tell you what, more than I can comprehend.
Tony Stewart, the leader, by 3.2 seconds over Kevin Harvick. Third place has just changed hands. Bobby Hamilton Jr. around Matt Kenseth. Scott Riggs rounds out your top 5. Got a lot of drama shaping up here at Michigan International Speedway. Rain closing in. Fuel stops closing in. Some guys going to try and go to the finish on the fuel they already have. A little mini through the field for you to set the stage. We begin with the leaders, Pitt and Matt Yoakum.
Well, Dave Sharpin's here, the team's engineer for DEI, and Bono Mannion discussing when to come. Actually, they're going to come about 4 laps longer than they thought. Now they're going to go lap 104, trying to hold out for the rain, Marty.
Kevin Harvick in second, about 2 laps short on fuel, but they're absolutely going for it, hoping to get some caution laps if possible before the end of the race. Harvick came on the radio. He said, I think the weather is what's going to win this race.
And here come the pit stops a little sooner than we thought. Matt Kenseth gives up 4th spot for his stop.
And it will be a 4-tire stop for Matt Kenseth, a little too tight right now, giving him the 4th position. A lot of changes on this car. They make a wedge adjustment. They take a pound out of the right front, pound out of both left side tires, trying to loosen that car up once again. Same car he won Charlotte with, also finished second with us at Chicago.
Greg Biffle also in just ahead of Kenseth.
Biffle here as well, and they've had a great run from the back to the front. Remember, they spun on lap 5 and made their way back to the front. Car just a little bit snug for Biffle. They didn't make an air pressure adjustment, and they had to stop this early because they, again, could not make it on fuel, just like Matt Kenseth.
All right, so about 5 laps away from Tony Stewart's
I know you're working on your fuel mileage, but keep in mind how many laps we got left here, too, as far as that right rear air pressure, bud.
Yeah, we're going to take the split out. We're going to go up that 1 pound. We're going to just do right side, so that'll tighten you up a little bit, too. Just couple.
Yeah, when he comes in and goes back out, he's going to need to stand on. He can't wait for the car to come back in. So they're trying to make adjustments on this car to where it's going to be good right now instead of making the car good on a longer run.
So both those cars, Kenseth and Biffle, have gone a lap down.
Yeah, Kenseth back in 23rd place and Biffle back to 25th. You know, really, the big story of this race right now, if it doesn't rain, is the second place guy, Kevin Harvick.
Here he comes. Here comes the leader.
Tony Stewart diving for pit road, so they came sooner than they were expecting to.
Good job, all the way down here.
25 laps to go. And Tony
We're
Stewart...
going to have to go like hell. You know, Michael's out there running.
Tony Stewart giving up a 7.5-second lead over Kevin Harvick to come in for his stop, Matty.
And at this juncture, they're going to go a 2-tire change. We told you earlier about shuffling the air pressure in that right rear. Hand signals to Tony, 2 tires. They topped him off there with 1 can today.
The 5-car tight in the center, Matt. He couldn't go any further on fuel, stayed out last time. 2 tires for Vickers, air pressure adjustment.
It's Tim Fedewa coming in behind them. So Kevin Harvick is now the leader. Remember that Harvick stopped at lap 60.
I don't know.
Boy, that's
there hasn't been a caution flag. I just can't see him running 65 laps.
Yeah, that is
on a tank of fuel. Just can't see.
I can't either, VP.
It went back green.
I don't think he could make it on fuel, though.
There you go. Me either. I agree with that.
They went green with 62 to go.
Doing what you're doing. Let's play it out and see what happens here.
He's talking about 21 car of Harvick.
So Harvick leads. Casey Kane is second. Bobby Hamilton Jr. is third.
38 was one of the first cars to pit.
Johnny Sauter in.
By the way, I talked to Kerry Agajanian and Wally, and he said that, you know, they took their tires from Loudon and NASCAR and pounded the tires. Everything is fine. They found nothing wrong with anything.
We knew that.
But we knew that. Because they told us there's nothing wrong with it.
That's right. He wouldn't have told us that. Well, I don't know about that.
All right, so that's Matt Kenseth getting back on the lead lap there by passing Kevin Harvick.
So
he's 2 miles behind Harvick in 20th place.
So Johnny Sauter in the pits just a moment ago in the Channel Lock Chevrolet. Somebody said they saw something unusual during that pit stop. Let's see what unusual is. Jackman kind of tripped. Yeah, kind of got run over.
He slid over the line, slid over the hose.
Got to back him up. Back him up, guys. Matt?
And he's okay. I think he scratched his jack and also scratched the hood of the car, but he completed the stop for Johnny Sauter.
Very good. Nice.
Brian Vickers getting a lap back from leader Kevin Harvick. Vickers now in 20th place.
He's fast. 20 to go, Kevin. We're in good shape.
Well, he said we're in good shape, didn't he?
He did. That's what he said. Mike Wallace makes a pit stop in the 4 car.
That was Butch Hilton, the crew chief, talking to Kevin Harvick. No rain so far, but boy, the sky looks dark.
What's the word? Imminent? Rain is imminent.
So Harvick has made what he says is his final pit stop. Second place, Casey Kane has to come back in. Bobby Hamilton Jr. has to come back in. He's in third. David Green, Scott Riggs, 4th and 5th. David Ruderman in 6th. They'll all have to stop again, as will Casey Mears in 7th place.
So now Harvick has backed off now. He's going to let the Casey Kane car catch him and even go by him, because they figured out the 38 car can't make it, and they're going to I guess they're going to try it, aren't they, Marty?
The 21 will try it, BP. I don't know about 38. I have to check with Matty on that one, but they came on the radio a moment ago. Butch Hilton, the crew chief, and Kevin Harvick had this conversation. He said, "What do you want me to do?" Harvick said. He said, "Just keep doing what you're doing. I'll tell you when to put the hammer down. Just keep keeping the pace that you have right now." Matty?
Artie West Ward told me that they are at least 3 or 4 laps shy of making it to the finish. But what a comeback for Casey Kane. Remember, he pitted earlier in lap 42, had loose lugs in the left front, came back in under that caution in lap 47. And guys, it is raining.
No caution yet.
And a few light drops up top, Butch. Starting to rain up top.
That's a spotter for the 21 car, telling Butch Hilton it's starting to rain.
Oh, yeah, here comes some big raindrops over the top of the broadcast booth.
Coming down.
Danny Culler, the
caution is out.
Off is out, come on.
Kevin Harvick is already past the start-finish. Oh, there he comes right now. So Harvick just takes the caution. So the race is under yellow with 17 laps to go.
And here it comes.
And the fuel gamble might have been a great one for Butch Hilton, the crew chief for Kevin Harvick.
Boy, so far it looks like hero there.
Boy, he does.
Wow.
And look at it, rain.
That's going to be, boy, that's heavy.
So with 17 laps to go, a drowning rain is hitting this racetrack. At very least, they're going to have to stop it for a little while and see if the rain will stop and the track will dry. And ideally, they'll be able to get this thing back underway, and then we'll really have a jumbled up picture. But boy, it's going to take a few minutes to figure it out. This changes everything.
Yes, it does.
Some guys who didn't pit yet, like David Green and Scott Riggs, are hoping it pours.
Look at that.
Bringing the field down pit road here at Michigan International Speedway. 15 laps shy of the scheduled distance. A downpour has drenched this 2-mile oval, and we're going to go under the red flag. They have not canceled the rest of the race. We're just going under the red flag to wait and see what the weather does. Kevin Harvick leads. Casey Kane is 2nd. Bobby Hamilton Jr. 3rd. David Green 4th. And Scott Riggs is 5th. And the rest of the top 10, David Ruderman, Casey Mears, Michael Waltrip, Shane Meal, and Dave Blaney. Tony Stewart is 11th, the driver who has led 86 of the 111 laps that have been run so far. Marty, this thing might just work out yet for Butch Hilton.
Unbelievable. Taking the best shelter we can find underneath the blue tarp here in the 21 pit. You're either lucky or good. I don't know which one it is.
I'm sure it's lucky. Payday Chevy's been really good today. We just ain't had nothing for the 8, but it seems like lately the best car hasn't won these races, and we ain't won nothing yet. Sure would like to see it keep raining the rest of the day.
Was any part of your decision based on the weather, your run for fuel mileage?
Not really. We were like 3 laps off our window, and you know, the tires are making a big difference today. The speeds are picking up, and they're having a lot of drop off as we run on. So not really, I don't think so.
Let me play devil's advocate real quick. If it does go back green for some reason, will that actually hurt you because you've run some laps here sitting there, you know, under the yellow?
Yeah, I think it will. We'll probably come and get tires if that happens and see what happens.
Obviously, the track a little wet. You would want some tires. Dave?
Well, Marty, what about the championship leader, Scott Riggs? He was running 5th, and I told you guys that he had come in, had his pit stop, and he was 2 laps short. Doug, I checked with you, and you looked like you might have been wanting to play it safe, and then the rains came.
Yeah, I mean, Nesquik Tars run real good all day today, guys. Been awesome in the pits. We were going to be right there on fuel. I mean, touch and go. And if the car was really good and we thought we had a chance to win the race and beat some of these other guys that could made it, we were probably going to stay out. With the championship battling, boy, you'd hate to run out of gas here. So, you know, we were probably going to play it safe, but we were hoping for rain, and it's here. You know, maybe it'll stay, maybe it won't. If it doesn't, we'll go back racing again, get all we can.
I didn't hear you telling Scott to conserve. Was he trying to conserve some fuel?
Well, we talked about it early, you know, conserving right off the bat, and then as we got to running, you know, we wanted to race, and then as we saw where we were going to be, we started conserving because it wasn't really going to hurt us at that point to start conserving a little bit.
Okay, note again, guys, when this race started, the championship was only 7 points apart. Alan?
There are the championship standings as they run, with David Green in 4th and Scott Riggs in 5th on the track, so the 7-point lead goes to 2 if it finishes like this. But we've still got 15 laps to go. We're under the red for rain. And here are the drivers as they took the caution flag coming to the rain, or the caution flag caused by the rain. Kevin Harvick, Casey Kane, Bobby Hamilton Jr., David Green, and Scott Riggs. Of course, Green and Riggs, the top 2 in the NASCAR Busch Series Championship. And the word has just come in. The race is over.
All right.
Kevin Harvick has won. For Kevin Harvick, his 3rd win of 2003 in 9 starts in this 21 car this year. First Michigan win in his 3rd Busch Series try. 9th different winner in 12 races at this track. That's Butch Hilton, the crew chief, on the left with his back to you, headed for victory lane. And Dave, you've got the winner.
Yeah, and now let me do this here. Give me that. I'll hold that for you, sir. He was holding that for me for like 5 minutes, but I guess it was a good luck charm because you're the winner at Michigan. Congratulations.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. You know, we tried to play our strategy out there at the end, and Tony probably had the best car today, but man, we've given a lot of these things away, having the best car and getting beat on fuel mileage through the 4 or 5 years that we've run Busch cars. So this is great for RCR and Payday and Snap-on and Sylvania and everybody who helps us on the Payday car. It's really cool to get one given to you kind of in the rain.
Won it in the wet today, Marty.
And Dave, Richard Childers says finally it's official now, RC, you can stop dancing.
Well, I know, but man, I tell you, I've never felt rain feel better before. We had a lot of rain in North Carolina lately, and it's beat on my grapes pretty hard, but this is the sweetest we've had.
All right, he'll squash some grapes later on. He said he wanted this trophy because there's 2 big bears on it for the Cabela's 250. That's why he wanted this trophy.
Kevin Harvick, your winner here today in the Cabela's 250 as we check the final results today. The race stopped after 110 of the scheduled 125 laps due to weather.
A bunch of those guys up there are happy about this rain because they wouldn't have been there. This thing would have went green the rest of the way.
And you look at the top 10, you don't see Tony Stewart. Where's Tony Stewart? There he is in 11th position after dominating the race today. Finishes 11th.
Stopped with what would eventually be 9 laps to go for his final fuel run, and then the weather closed in and it didn't work out. See, Ron Hornaday, only one of the NASCAR Busch Series contenders for the championship to really have a bad day. Talked with him earlier, finished 28th. Justin Labonte, welcome back to the NASCAR Busch Series. That team hoping for a sponsorship deal that they're working on to come through, so he can come back and race next year.
And Justin is off to Caraway Speedway tonight, where he's leading the point system.
Yep, one of the local NASCAR tracks. Final fuel, only 4 drivers failed to finish in this one. Very low attrition rate today here at Michigan on a track that's so tough on power plants.
And there you see 2 points between Scott Riggs, David Green for the Series Championship. Jason Keller almost 100 back, but Hornaday now 134 back.